Hello and welcome to this tutorial video on how to complete your Southern Universities Network SPoC Finance Report. In this video, we're going to go through each section of the report, how to complete it, and some of the tips that we've included to make tracking your SUN funding and expenditure across the academic year a little bit easier. The first section of the report, at the top here, contains space for you to include your school or college name, your email address, and the name of your Southern Universities Network project leader or project facilitator. The next section is the 2020-21 information area, which includes information about how many Uni Connect learners you have at your school. In this example, we have 50 Year 9 students, 55 Year 10 students, and 45 Year 11 students, which we can see here is a total of 150 Uni Connect learners. The funding allocation section automatically calculates the funding allocation for your school based on the number of learners. This will be taken directly from your postcode profiler document. The notes section here is for your project leader or project facilitator to record any notes or comments relating to your funding for the academic year. We can see here that in this example, the school has a total SUN funding allocation of £4,500. The 2020-21 SPoC Time area is to be agreed in consultation with your project leader or project facilitator and will represent the amount of time that you spend completing your duties as a single point of contact for the Southern Universities Network. We can see here in this example the time spent organising events and completing the postcode profiler may be things that we include here. We recommend 6 days of time as a maximum across the academic year. The space here is for you to record the number of days that you've agreed with your project leader and project facilitator. In this example, we're going to say 3 days across the academic year, and the cost per day is going to be £150. This automatically calculates to £450 for the total funds used for SPoC Time. We'll see a bit later on in the finance summary that this is subtracted from your total allocation for the purpose of monitoring your expenditure and SUN funding. The next section is the 2020-21 Funding Action Plan. This is the area to record all of your planned activity, the cost of your planned activity, the actual cost of the activity which took place, and a bit of additional information about each activity. We've included examples here in this row, which may be helpful when going through and entering in all of your planned and actual activity. A brief description of what should be in each column is also included up here for your reference. To go through the examples, in the activity column, we ask that you describe what was delivered. In here, we've said a 90-minute study skills workshop delivered by Mad About Study Skills. The audience is to provide details about the participants who benefited from the activity. Here we say there are 60 Year 10 students, 45 of whom were Uni Connect students, and 30 Year 9 students, 18 of whom were also Uni Connect students. The delivery date is the date that the project is delivered on. This is the 1st of September 2020 in this example. For the learning objectives, we ask that you identify the relevant learning objective numbers in the progression framework for each activity. Your SUN project leader and project facilitator can assist with this, but we have included on this second tab here a full progression framework which includes all of the learning objective numbers and the corresponding learning objectives. The planned cost is what you plan to spend on each activity. In this example here, we have £1,400. The description of the planned costs is for you to list each of the costs which should total your total planned costs in this column here. The actual cost is for you to record the actual cost after the activity has been delivered, just so that we can see any difference between the planned cost. This can be higher or lower. Again, the description of actual costs is to list all of the actual costs associated with the activity, and we can see here that we have £250 per tutor group, and there are 3 tutor groups, which means it's £750, and then the additional resources for the event cost £250, totaling the £1,000 here. We also have a notes section for each of your activities to record anything that you discovered or any challenges that you had to overcome. So we've said here, after receiving feedback from another school, the decision was made to use another company with a slightly different offer. It was not possible to release all Year 10 students from lessons, therefore the offer was made to a select group of Year 9 students. The evidence and reference column is an optional column that you may wish to use to identify your cost internally. This, in this example, is the invoice from Mad About Study Skills, and perhaps your internal transaction number. This is mainly so that you can identify how you reached this actual cost column here if you ever need to prove that. The final section here is the finance summary, and we've split out this year to make a distinction between the planned costs and the actual costs. We can see up here in the planned cost column, I'm going to use the example of £1,400. Please note that it will only start totaling from this row here, which is row 32. The example costs here and here will not be included in your totals. And then at the bottom here, we can see that that's totaled £1,400. If I put an additional £100 here, it will update it to £1,500. It's the same thing in this actual costs column here. So again, we will use the example of £1,000. This then updates the finance summary. And we can see here we have the total funding for the school at £4,500, the total funds which were agreed for SPoC Time, which was in this section up here. And then for the planned cost section, we have £1,400, which, as we can see in our example, is the only cost included in this column at the moment. That shows a funding remaining based on planned expenditure of £2,650. It works the same for the actual costs. We have £4,500 again for total funding, £450 for SPoC Time, and then this time the total actual costs based on this column here is £1,000, and that leaves funding remaining after actual expenditure of £3,050. We hope that this will help you keep track of your SUN funding and expenditure throughout the academic year. For any further assistance with your SPoC finance report, please contact your project leader or project facilitator. They will be happy to help. Thank you.